Nice. Very nice. We're here.
We're here.
We're here.
We doing it live.
I just thought about another thing we could
We
talk
did it
about.
live.
It's too late. We're live.
I'm just gonna bring it up.
Okay.
Bring it up. Dude. Do it. Do it, man.
All right. Let's kick it. Hold up. What happened? Oh God. Okay. Whoops. I accidentally set the music back. Like the music bed track. I accidentally set it to record.
So you just recorded over our actual sound.
Well, it tried to, but I guess yeah. Share the stream if y'all smoke them if you got them. So wait, what are we starting with again?
Bandito, followed by Dose, and then Tecate.
Turn that delay off. All right, hello everyone, and welcome to Beers of the Round Table. This is episode 2 of season 2, where we're trying to get a little bit more focused on the things that we do. So
And that rhymed. So it's true.
yeah. So if you're with us for last podcast, you endured our torture as we went through 5 different macro beers.
Look, man, I'm gonna go ahead and say too, man. Like they were bad, but they weren't like. It wasn't like I wanted to rip my tongue out. I just want to. It's the stomach thing afterwards that gets me.
Yeah, because like I it's been a while since I've woken up the next morning and like actually had like stomach issues from alcohol.
So yeah, I was lucky enough to have
miss
missed
out on
that.
Yeah. So Joseph's
Although
here with
I was
us.
curious.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Joseph's here with us this week. Scott is not. Scott's down in Austin. I think he's going to be joining us live in the Facebook comments. Let me pull that up while I'm thinking about it.
He's too busy playing Dark Souls.
Yeah, so this week we're going to take a small tour around Mexican lagers, cerveza, as it's also known as sometimes. So we've got with us today Nito Bandito from Deep Ellum. This is probably the only American one we have. Yeah,
Basically, yeah.
actually brewed from Deep Ellum in Dallas, which it's a brewery I'm quite fond of. So I wanted to bring in like an American version of a Mexican lager, just kind of see how it compares.
Aren't they moving to Austin?
Deep Ellum?
Not that I'm aware
They'd
of.
have to change their name.
No, I think there was something about one of the breweries down in Deep. It's one of the breweries. It's either Deep Ellum or it's someone else.
Is it Brain Dead? Maybe.
I don't think. Maybe it is Deep Ellum Brewing. I think they're actually moving to Austin.
I had not heard of this.
Huh.
Maybe
I forgot
they're
to mention
opening.
that.
Maybe they're opening a second location.
I don't know.
We'll have to research
Shout out
this
to you
because
guys.
that's
cool.
well. That's really weird. If Deep Ellum would just be like, yeah, like we started in Deep Ellum, Dallas, and we're just gonna go move down to Austin and still be Deep Ellum.
That's kind of like how they did with the or what was it, Oaktopia? Like
Yeah.
they moved
Oh yeah,
Oaktopia.
Oaktopia went to Dallas, but they're still called Oaktopia, even though.
an Oak Street in Dallas somewhere.
Is that where the new Oaktopia is? No,
Absolutely
no,
not.
no.
It's Deep Ellum,
No,
I
fuck 'em.
think.
Yeah. It's what was it? Deep Ellum Brewing has been acquired by Canarchy,
Oh,
and they're moving
Canarchy.
to.
Oh yeah, they got. It's not that they sold out, but they got like investment from a venture capital firm.
Yeah, and
Oh.
I think they
To go big
are
time.
either
Interesting.
owned in Austin or they're moving to Austin because of that. I
Weird.
think.
I hope it's just owned by Austin. Anyway, so yeah, Nito Bandito, Deep Ellum, please stay in Dallas. We've got Dos Equis,
Classic.
yeah, Cerveceria Moctezuma.
so this right here is actually if I'm remembering correctly, a gift from the Germans to Mexico. The
Interesting.
Mexicans down there. So this is actually very much so based off of a German recipe.
Very interesting.
Yeah, that one's definitely. This one is more widely drank in America from what I've seen than down in Mexico. But
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, and then we've also got Tecate.
now this one right here, this is the Bud Light of Mexico. This is one that I know for a fact that a lot of people in Mexico drink Tecate because
Alright.
it's just their Bud Light down there. Solid. But we'll crack it open and review it then.
Okay, cool. So I believe we're gonna get started with some Nito Bandito here. So
Before we crack tonight, I just want to say happy birthday to you, Brad.
thank
you
you.
for doing the cast.
We are,
tonight.
yeah. We're semi-celebrating Brad's birthday on this
yeah,
cast. So.
25,
Quarter of a century, man.
and you know what? My age is now funnier than 24.
That's been that's
SpongeBob
That's been
reference.
Bort. I'll see you guys later. I knew that was gonna happen.
Wow, that's actually really, really good.
That's not bad.
That's crispy. That's how I would characterize
crisp.
that.
Crispy. No, and so Mexican lagers especially hold near and dear to my heart. I personally am a Dos Equis man. I like drinking Dos Equis. I like lagers, and especially the Mexican style cerveza lagers, because they're just easy to drink. Last Christmas, okay. Here at Beers of the Round Table, we actually had the pleasure of brewing a homemade Mexican-style lager for my girlfriend's family. And during the process, we were able to go ahead and crack one open, give it a taste, and it was delicious. It was absolutely delicious, and it really kind of taught us the intricacies of actually making a light-style beer, because those imperfections, whenever you're home brewing, are no matter what, the imperfections can be more easily detected, and also quality control for lagers need to usually be on point. That's why the big guys make them.
Yeah, it's, mainly with lagers. That's where that tends to come in, and part of it is like lagers need to be fermented at a much colder temperature. Which, for one thing, at a home brewing level, that's a little bit more difficult. I mean, what I've got is chest freezer out in the garage with a temperature controller attached to it, so I can kind of dial it in a little bit.
But even then, it still is difficult.
Yeah, because and part of that is you have to have your actual brewing process on point, because you've got different chemicals and stuff that are manifested during the brewing process. One of them mainly is DMS. I don't remember what it stands for, but it's a bad thing.
It's a bad thing. Okay.
And that can manifest really easily in the boil, especially with lagers, because you're using a different type of malt that just creates DMS easier. So you have to make sure that your brewing process is really on point to kind of curb the formation of DMS, because when you ferment at those colder temperatures, it's not a temperature that's good enough to really kind of fend those off. Because when we do ales, it's at a warmer temperature, and the warmer temperatures are where the yeast actually cleans up that DMS for you.
Right.
But at the colder temperatures, it can't do that as well.
So, question for you. One of the common things that you definitely see with lagers, for example, if I'm thinking correctly, Corona is a lager, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, with some lagers like Sol, De Sol or something like that. Sol is another Mexican beer.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They actually use clear bottles. Corona and Sol do.
Yeah.
And they actually, because of that, I've noticed as of recently as last night, I had a Corona for the first time in a while, and most of the time the Coronas are skunked. Now, a lot of people, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Some people, I mean, it's not a characteristic that you generally want in a lager. Some people actually enjoy that skunked scent and more pungent flavor. It makes it a little bit more flavorful. But what causes that skunking that you see so much in the Mexican cervezas?
So what the deal is that in all beers use hops. Oh God, lost my headphones. There we go. So I guess maybe it's the jack on this thing. It's not actually okay. It's still gone. There.
Is it back? Is it back yet? Oh, wiggle
There
a
it is.
little bit.
Okay. Sorry, my headphones were screwing up. Lost my train of thought. Okay, so every beer we use hops, and a good reason for that is that hops are naturally antibacterial, so it keeps bad things from growing in the beer. That's a big reason why we use hops. And for a lot of beers in the craft world, it's mainly for flavor. But when you're talking about lagers, you don't really have a hop flavor, so it's mainly for the antibacterial thing. Regardless, any amount of hops are very light sensitive. So when you put something into a clear bottle and you leave it out in direct light, it doesn't have to be sunlight. It can just be like this light. That light's getting in, and it's making a chemical reaction with those hops, and that's what creates the skunk flavor. So we normally use amber bottles that keep a whole ton of light out. And that's why most beers don't taste skunked. But clear bottles and sometimes even the green bottles will let in enough light to skunk a beer.
I've noticed with Dos Equis, I've actually never experienced a time where my dose was actually spoiled, but it literally, I think I can count more times than not that my Corona has been skunked.
Yeah, because clear is not going to offer you any protection.
Right.
And that's part of why Corona doesn't want to let go of the clear bottle, so that's why Corona's always put a lime in your beer because the lime will.
Cuts it off.
Yeah, like it makes you notice it less.
Generally speaking, with like a lot of Mexican cuisine, lime is a major part of, the cuisine. I mean, limes have been, the reason why they use lime so much was because that's how you could extract nutrients from like corn, back in the olden times.
Yeah.
So it became a part of their diet and stuff like that. So that skunkiness or whatever that you detect in some of these beers, are offset by the lime and actually act as a kind of signature for that Mexican style lager.
Yeah.
To me, it kind of wakes up the flavor a little bit.
Yeah.
I can't wait
Yeah.
to dig in. We got some limes here
Yeah,
today.
and you know what? I'm gonna be completely honest. Mexican lagers is actually a style I've not really explored all that much. So I don't really, I haven't really had many examples. I've had Dos Equis a number of times, but that's probably about it. And I've never had it with a lime. So this
Really?
Will be
Whoa.
this will be
Wow.
a first for me today.
That's the one
So,
time. That's the one time.
Welcome to my world, man. This is a wonderful experience.
I'm kind of excited. So, all right, we've talked a little bit about the beer. Before we start getting into our topics, I want to talk about some of these live comments we got. Alex Hudson, Bobby says, "Bobby,"
Hey,
and then he says, "I bet Bobby won't chug a dose."
hey, Alex, I would, but
This
I
is
will
for
actually.
sipping.
How many do we have?
We got 6.
So we have 2 more after this. I'll
Yeah.
chug one for you, buddy. Okay, I
So
will.
then, Oscar Guerrero says, "Soul is ass."
It's always Modelo time.
What's up, Oscar?
And Jim Adams, Zach's father, says, "Hello, Beers to the Round Table."
Hello
Hey,
to you
Jim.
too.
We say hello
Hey,
to
Dad.
you, Jim.
And what's up, Oscar?
We appreciate you tuning in every week.
Don't
or
forget
every-
that. Don't
every
forget
cast.
that little. He had the
Yeah,
little
he
pints.
gives
clinking.
us a little cheers emoji. So.
I think he's cracking a cold one with his
All right.
boys.
All right, we appreciate that.
perfect.
All
Appreciate
right.
that. Yeah, if
All
you're
right.
listening to us, go ahead and crack open a beer and just chill. Come take some.
It's a good Friday night.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into it a little bit.
Yes.
I know we've got a couple of topics that we discussed beforehand.
Yeah.
We don't really do topic masters right now.
Yeah,
for season
well-
2, we're trying something a little bit different.
Yeah.
And I think it's good.
Yeah,
just go with
we
the
just
flow.
kind of discussed it a little bit more. So, what was our first one? Let's get started with.
Do you want to get started with?
We can either go political or we can go with some
Banos.
talking about
Banos?
Banos.
That was the one. All right. So,
What is Banos?
yeah. So everybody here has seen Infinity War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler
Spoiler alert.
Matt,
Well, I
just-
don't
everyone.
really want to call this a big spoiler though, because like, I mean, if you know enough, if you haven't seen it by now, you probably don't care that much. And like most people, I don't want to say most people, but like, okay, so it's just a big plot line that Thanos wants to balance the universe. He believes there's too many people for the number of resources that's in the universe, so his solution is to kill half the population. That's not. I don't think that's very spoilery.
I mean, it isn't really, but I mean, we want to make sure that everybody is aware of it. But anyways, this concept of resource conservation, of killing off half of a population of some sort to reserve resources, was implemented on the popular social media network or social media website Reddit.
Yeah. So there's like if you've never been on Reddit, it's basically just a social media platform that's divided into a bunch of different communities based on different interests. So there's a subreddit called Thanos Did Nothing Wrong, and when the subreddit kind of started, it really was more behind the idea that not like literally behind the idea, but making memes being like, oh yeah, Thanos was right, we need to balance the population, everything should be perfectly balanced, all that kind of stuff. It was funny memes, and then somebody gets the bright idea, they're like, oh, we should make this real. Let's ban half of our
We
users
should implement
to actually balance the
Thanos'
subreddit.
philosophy.
And like the way that
That's stupid.
Oh, it's not stupid,
Nah, that's pretty cool.
man. It was
all
was
good
an interesting
taste.
thing.
yeah, so
It's for fun.
shit.
5 fun.
So okay, so what did they actually discuss on the subreddit then?
It was just memes.
It was a meme
Shit
subreddit.
posting.
Yeah. I don't want to say like shit posting. I'm gonna pause this real quick here because
Wait, the stream?
I just noticed something wrong.
Okay.
Are
Are we still live on?
We're still live on Facebook, but somebody's being doubled up.
Okay, gotcha.
Hey Facebook,
Oh,
you see this right
dude.
now?
Okay. Hopefully it'll catch it on like a lot of the ambient stuff. I accidentally had U2 set to input 2. So,
Oh.
yeah. So
Well, yeah.
at least the first half we should get like most of your stuff on like everybody else's mic.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I mean, that's fine.
I'm sorry.
I don't have that much important stuff to say.
Oh, it was all important to me.
As long as you guys heard it. I'm here to crack on with
I
my
heard
boys
it.
here.
I'm gonna pause this real quick here because
Wait, the stream?
I just noticed something wrong.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, yeah, we're back. I wasn't getting Zach earlier, but everybody should hear Zach perfectly fine now.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Wait, hang on.
Salutations.
Wait, where did you get next to me?
Wait.
Banos.
Oh no, and then Bobby.
Oh, Bobbert.
Oh no.
What happened to me?
I don't know what the hell happened. The inputs were like off by one on each one.
So I might
Off
just
by
like
one
not hear-
errors.
I mean, I didn't really say too much.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
guy
So
said
that's okay. So we had you. We were just on Bobby's track.
Oh, dude. Dang, dude.
I didn't really say too much either, so it's all good.
Yeah. Okay. We're good.
You're
Okay.
fine.
So I'm gonna pause this real quick here because
Wait, the screen?
I just noticed something wrong. Okay. So it was actually Bobby that we didn't have. But we should be good now.
Yeah.
We should have.
I didn't really
everybody.
say
We
too much
continue on
either.
now?
I
Are we
think
yeah, we have-
recording again?
Yeah. Now we're recording.
Oh, my God.
all I said, I think only thing I
Recording.
said was yeah, Alex, I'll try a Dos Equis for you. What's up, Oscar? Hi, Jim. And what was on the Thanos subreddit?
Yeah. So Thanos. Yeah.
Thanos did nothing wrong.
Yeah, so Thanos did nothing wrong. It was just kind of a meme subreddit
Uh-huh.
that was all about Thanos, and it's like, oh yeah, everything should be perfectly balanced, and just
From Avengers Infinity War.
yeah, memes about the movie as well. So then somebody was like, oh, let's do this for real. Let's balance the subreddit. Let's ban half the users. And then of course Reddit hive mind being what it is, everybody was like, yes, this is a great idea. Let's do it. So but here's the really funny thing is that when they decided, okay, let's see if we can actually make this happen. The subreddit was at like 50,000 subscribers. And then when people heard that it was going to become a real thing, that like it was actually going to happen, the subscribers just skyrocketed. And I think when the banning actually happened, it was around somewhere between 200 and 400,000.
It
That
was
got banned?
it was a rather large
Wow.
amount of
Well,
subreddit.
not that got banned, but like that was the total.
Oh, no, it was
subscribers.
in the 300,000s.
Yeah,
it was
it
in
was-
excess of 300,000s. Because what happened was after that, I'm sorry to
No, go for
take
it.
that. So as you know, Josh Brolin plays Thanos.
Yeah.
Okay, so and the MCU movies are usually, or some of them are directed by the Russo brothers, which also directed Avengers: Infinity War. So Russo brothers already being active Redditors and have done previous AMAs on Reddit. I guess must have contacted Josh Brolin and was like, dude, guess what? These guys are trying to do this, like where they ban half of this forum, dude. You got to check it out. It's funny as can be. So they hit him up, and I guess Josh Brolin must have looked at it or something, figured out what was going on, and then he decided to go through and record a video of himself. It's about a 5-second clip or something like that of him going, all right, Reddit. And he snaps his
he did a little
fingers
snap.
just like in the thing.
But I think that was posted by one of the directors actually.
It was.
Yeah.
So then the Rousseau brothers, since they're already, like I said, Redditors from their previous AMAs,
Right.
posted it up to the subreddit, and it lifted off. It got news headlines. It was on my news feeds from Google and all the
Yeah.
other stuff too, because it was an interesting idea. It was the same thing as like some of the other social experiments that Reddit does, like on April 1st.
Right.
Except it was completely user sourced.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
was like a community, like I guess born
Community effort,
crowdsourced.
yeah.
and so like they like and actually like kind of brought some interesting problems forth that they had to solve. Like first they're like, oh, if we ban this many people, the admins like the admins would be like, okay, this is weird, and like stop it. So they had to get like actual permission from the Reddit, the company, and their admins and stuff to be
Wow.
able to do it. And they're like, yeah, sure, go for it.
And the
like-
admins actually supported it. They
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
it was hilarious.
Yeah, because like now there's an official Reddit blog about it and all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
So then like somebody actually wrote a bot for the mods of the subreddit to use, and the bot was like, okay, we can't like through the API they couldn't figure out everybody that was subscribed.
Yeah.
So what you actually had to do to participate in the social experiment was to comment or post something in the subreddit, and like that way they could get a whole list of everybody and then do the banning from there. So they did it, and the thing was, it's like that happened, and like they could figure out who was banned and who was spared, and everybody got a Reddit badge for it, like an
Yeah.
official Reddit badge if you were spared or banned, or what they called it? You were
Snap.
You were a cold or no?
That was Snap, wasn't it?
I have a
Snapped was if
picture
you
of
were
it on there
banned,
too.
and
Let me
what was the
find
other
it.
one?
I think it was snapped.
Y'all keep on going.
Okay.
I'll find it.
I think it was
Well-
Snapped, and it was Snapped and Spared.
Yeah. So
I was snapped and Brad was spared.
yeah, I was spared.
To show that it was actually half. I mean, of us too,
Yeah.
it did get half of us.
Yeah,
There was
Thanos
actually
saw
a
mercy on me.
website actually where it was like does.thanos.killyou.com or something. Right, it was.
Yeah, I'm sure that was
Oh,
just
wait,
like
yeah.
It was up for like right before or right during the movie.
yeah.
when the movie
I'm
came
sure
out.
that was just kind of like random number between 0 and 1 where you
Yeah.
snapped.
And the great thing was that it was all live streamed on
Yeah.
Twitter. So they wrote the application and then they ran it on like a bot.
Yeah.
And you could go onto Twitch whenever it was happening, and it wasn't the fastest thing in the world. It wasn't like an instant snap.
Yeah,
you had
it
to go
took a
through
while,
each
yeah.
user to actually find out because it was 300,000 plus people. Dude.
Yeah, and
it
like,
was
you
insane.
got to make an API call for each one of those, and I'm sure
Yeah.
they
it almost
adjusted-
overloaded the thing unless the engineers did something about
I was
it.
gonna say, like, I'm sure Reddit had to do like some adjustment to their like API throttling to allow that to happen, like the way that it did, because like I'm sure there's like some rate limiting stuff in their API. But the funny thing
there definitely is.
with it is that like even though they did the banning and snapped half the people, the subscriber count didn't go down by half.
Because you had to actually forcefully subscribe. I subscribed, and what happened was is that they actually created another subreddit cloned after Thanos Did Nothing Wrong called In the Soul Stone. So just like how in the movies, it's theorized that everybody that got snapped, and spoilers again, that got snapped and turned into ash,
Yeah, that's in the Soul Stone.
they're in the Soul Stone. So yeah, they now have a subreddit for that. So you were able to still actually, see your memes and stuff like that. What I thought was kind of strange was that they weren't actually able to physically ban people from a subreddit like they do with some other ones.
Well, I think the thing is that when you get banned from a subreddit, you're not banned from reading the content or being subscribed to it. You're banned from commenting and posting.
But I
Yeah.
can comment and post.
And that's typically
Really?
called
I tried
a
comment
shadow
once.
ban, right?
Yeah. And that was the thing, was that I was able to go through, and they said that you wouldn't be able to upvote or anything. And I was able to go through and do whatever I needed to.
Interesting.
Maybe it just doesn't affect.
Maybe you're one of the slow faders. You're slowly fading away. Then.
What if you made it? Well, what they should have done, what would have been really cool, is if they made it like a private subreddit, and then after everybody had been given access after the snap, not even that. You run the application, then after everybody's been added to the list, then you just literally turn it into private, and it's like a snap at that point. That would have been cool as hell.
I was kind of wondering about the particular implementation.
Yeah, Zach has a good idea over here, programming knowledge.
Well, way to go. Thanos did nothing wrong. You really, fucked it up.
Hey man, they probably weren't even computer scientists, man, or any kind of developers or anything, man. It sounds like that the engineers at Reddit were like, "Do we really have to do this?" And the bosses were like, "Dude, do you see how much traffic?
Well,
do you see how much?"
It wasn't the
traffic we're
Reddit
getting?"
engineers that really did anything. All the banning software was written by community members.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Wow. I
wanna
thought
look at
that
that.
went and talked to him because actually what's it called on the our announcements page?
Yeah.
One of the admins, it wasn't Spez, but one of the guys, one of the Reddit officials were like, they were talking about the ban and stuff like that. So they were supporting it.
Yeah, I'm sure maybe they gave like a little bit of it was obviously Reddit sanctioned and supported, but it wasn't done by them. They just allowed it to happen.
Again,
They
user
said-
sourced.
Yeah.
This is okay.
Because if Reddit had actually contributed code to this or whatever like that, it wouldn't have been a you must comment or post. They would have been
Yeah.
able to just get a straight up subscriber list.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that was perfect. You know what? No matter what, the idea was great,
Yeah.
and they turned, a movie concept that was really interesting whenever you saw it in theaters, that then became a meme, and then turned it into, in a sense, a social experiment.
Yeah.
And people loved it.
But I'll be
Everybody
honest,
loved it.
pretty soon after the snap, I unsubscribed from Thanos Did Nothing.
Aww.
Even though I was spared. The thing is like, before all this, stuff kind of came through, it was kind of an entertaining subreddit. I kind of liked, the Infinity War memes. I'm not even like the biggest Marvel fan, but, they're kind of funny. But then this happened, and now all the posts are literally just all about the event. And literally the memes are just complaining about people not unsubscribing that have been snapped.
And it's
really weird.
it's kind of
no.
sad that that's happening, but at the same time, like, unfortunately, unless you did it in a way where you could make the subreddit private to where you couldn't get in, and you only had those people that weren't snapped as members, what I think that they should have done was made. Well, you couldn't make both of them. You know what? I understand exactly why they did it. Because if you made it private, you couldn't get new subscribers. And you want to continue to grow, even if you are just a non-monetary subreddit.
But doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of balancing the universe?
Yes, but it is still a subreddit with karma whores in it.
Because, they
Let's
banned...
just face it as it
They
is.
banned half the users to, make sure that they don't run out of resources, wherever the hell that would be on Reddit.
Server space.
So
Mod
what sense would
resources.
it make to allow more people to subscribe? Because then you're just gonna have another snap.
They're hypocrites. It's fine.
There's
They're in it for the karma.
there was something like
As Zach
online,
said.
like kind of. I think I saw it on YouTube. It was like Josh Brolin went on. I forgot what show he went on, but he went on and he read Trump's tweets.
Oh, that was
Thanos?
Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it was that. But yeah, he went on the Late Show and he read all of some of Trump's tweets as Thanos. That's
pretty
pretty
funny.
good.
Interesting.
Funny.
Man, I would love to meet Josh Brolin. I've actually definitely have grown to like him because I started figuring out like what all he's been in. I didn't realize. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Don't laugh at me. I didn't realize he was the guy from No Country for Old Men.
That's okay. I've never seen the movie.
Huh?
I've never seen the movie.
Yeah,
You ever seen
I
that
haven't
movie?
seen that movie
It's
either.
pretty
You never seen that movie?
good. It's interesting. It's
It's
weird. and
watches.
It's weird, but once you what? If you
That's what that sounded like.
if you
I think that's a clicky key, right?
shit.
Is that the official term?
Yes, this is the clicky version of the big button.
Oh, gotcha.
dude, could you have like make a keyboard out of that? Just like a keyboard of all those.
Dude,
buttons?
okay, so there is somebody on the mechanical keyboard subreddit that made
That
a
did that?
well, they not a full keyboard, but they made like an arrow key cluster.
Does it work?
Yeah, they he wired it up to actually work.
And play DDR with it. That's what you should do.
Like I really because it was before I got this. I was like, I really want to hear that and see it in action.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I'll take a video, but OP didn't deliver it.
Oh man.
That's
OP
really
never
sad.
delivers.
Delivers.
Dick.
OP never delivers.
Oh Lord.
So how you liking your MacBook there, Brad?
That's the worst chance.
What a good segue.
All right, we're gonna
awesome
move on to
segue.
the next one here.
How you
How's
liking
everybody?
your MacBook there, dude? Is it a good MacBook? That was intentionally bad. I know.
How's everybody doing on their beers right now?
Answer the question.
Almost done.
Are you almost done? You said
I've drank it enough where I'm ready to move on to the next one.
you are ready to move on to the next one. Do we want to go ahead and do a review on this one real quick?
We'll do it at the end.
We should probably do it now before we forget.
Well, I'm keeping a little bit in mind so that. I can,
Fair enough.
Smart
good sir.
man. Let's do it. It's Evie. Hey, wait. Dos. All right, we're doing Tecate first.
What,
I
we're
thought
doing-
we were finishing with Dos Equis.
No, Dos Equis is the center, man. Dos Equis is like the Americanized Mexican-made beer.
Yeah,
Okay, I mean,
we're
it's-
going for
Oh, I
America.
understand what you're doing.
All right,
You're
technically
doing a
still-
gradient.
Doing a gradient, yes.
It's technically still sealed.
All right, we'll do a parabola instead.
Let's go, Tecate.
All right.
Okay.
Oh Jesus.
I've already popped mine. There we go.
Should I drink it out of the can or should I
That
pour
was
it
a
in
manual.
glass?
That was a manual opening right there.
Here's your manual open.
Refurbished.
Stop, dude.
You guys ever have refurbished beer?
Oh God.
Dude, don't no. Bobby, no.
Bull.
Refurbished beer. A grade refurbished beer.
So
Okay.
this is the
Recanned.
Tecate right here, original. So not the light. It is, like I said, the beer of Mexico.
This beer
Mexico's
is
favorite beer.
pretty clear. Are you okay?
Don't look at the beer. You can't look at it. You have to just drink it.
Yeah, I'm just drinking it and spoiler. I like Bandito better.
Oh no, shit. Yeah.
That explains the face. Because I looked at you and I was like, dude, you okay? You're like about to die.
Okay, so back to your transition, Bobby. I do really like my MacBook, but we're not talking about this particular.
Would you like 4 terabytes in that?
That'd be pretty ridiculous. I've only got half a terabyte in this one, actually. I would like my MacBook better if the keys weren't sticky, but I mean, I can't really change that.
You can. I can fix that for you. I can't really fix it for you. I'm not doing it.
Absolutely not.
That's okay. I
Absolutely
have a beautiful hand wired keyboard right here. So
Well, what about the MacBooks?
good.
So what happened this week? What was
it
that
was like
actually
yesterday,
called?
I think.
Was it
It
really?
was yesterday, huh?
That was at least when I heard about it.
I'm having to actually go through and scope one out for my work to see, like, is this a possible replacement for some of our staff machines to use?
I would say so. I mean, because the bottom line is
So what was the event that happened yesterday?
There was
Let's
no
throw
event.
that. It was just
They
them
just kinda-
releasing
it
that
was-
they've got new stuff coming out.
Yeah, it's what they call just kind of for Apple, it's what they call a silent release.
Mm-hmm.
And I say what they call it's usually the media because Apple usually does fanfare around their releases.
Right,
But
WWDC kind of stuff.
WWDC, they'll do like one-off events. They'll do the big iPhone events in the fall. But every now and again, and it usually mostly actually happens just with their computer hardware updates. They'll just do it. They'll just release it, not really like talk about it. You usually hear about it from some news outlet being like, "Oh, Apple just updated their MacBooks."
Yeah.
And so what that usually is like that's when they're not doing like a big like hardware update, like or design refresh. What it usually is like they've updated the internals, and so what I remember hearing about this one.
We're very serious about our cold ones being cold here on Beers of the
Holy
Round
shit.
Table.
I thought a train was going by for a second.
If you heard that, that was the sound of the ones being made cold.
Here comes the ice cyclone. Chill the fuck out of your beer.
All right, so
Hey guys, what's going on?
so anyway, so this was a hardware refresh where they just kind of updated the internals a little bit. They've got i9 processors now.
Wait, what is an i9?
Hey,
So i9.
I actually haven't kept up with Intel's recent ones.
i9 came out.
I haven't heard of an i9.
It was i7 originally,
Yeah.
which was a
i7 was-
8-core
Yeah, well,
processor.
so
high
3
threaded.
point whatever gigahertz.
Yeah, i9s were announced or released last summer.
Wow.
I wanna say-
I have not been keeping on.
Yeah, and those are I want to say like hex core.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's 12
Six.
processors technically
Six.
with logical
6, but
12
I mean,
logical
uh,
processors.
12 logical,
Yeah.
6 physical.
Yeah,
so
that's
they
what
do
I'm
their
talking
hybrid
yeah,
threading.
yeah, because Intel's all about the hybrid
So
threading.
for people who aren't techies, basically forever and since the beginning of time, it has been the i7. But as of this last year, there is now a 9.
Well, I mean, if you want to be technical, it's been the i3, i5, and i7.
We're talking about the highest rated one. Come on now. Yeah,
Well,
okay.
you make that clear.
Okay, well, I didn't make it clear.
Hey.
Okay, so we got the i3, i4, i5, i7, i26.
we took this class.
We,
The i26.
yeah, we did
The
take this
i26.
class.
We got A's in it.
Well, what's ridiculous is when they actually came out and God damn it, when they announced
Just switch over to your other headphones.
well, I don't think it's the headphones. I think it's either the jack on the mixer
Uh-huh.
or this adapter. I don't know.
Well, it's because you got this thing sticking out of it, dude.
Well, I see what your problem is. You needed to turn it upside down instead of M for mini and switch it to W for wumbo.
You try putting some WD-40 in there and lubing it up.
Have you tried
You know, I think you actually might need some duct tape. Actually, duct tape might actually fix
Pour
that.
some
No
Tecate
joke.
Light in there, see what happens.
Bro, do not do that. That is bad
Let's
advice.
go get some cords.
Get some
Some
get
cool-
Do you not
bush.
like it?
What?
No, we'll keep it. We'll keep it to the end. Keep
Okay.
it to the end.
Lost my train of thought.
We keep doing
Oh,
that.
right. Damn it. Okay, so when they announced the i9s, so if I remember correctly, the i9 came in 2 versions, at least for desktop processors that you could buy off the shelf. There's the 6-core, and then I think they had a 12-core.
Damn.
Yeah.
You're talking
But-
about for the i9s, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Physical
So,
or
yeah,
logical?
It's
Physical cores.
Like
6
physical?
cores.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that
But
you could
What
put
do you
into your
put that
desktop.
in? A
Your
desktop.
desktop,
I guess,
yeah.
yeah. But what do you do with it?
Because like my
Edit
new,
video?
like they even upgraded the i7s too. Because my new PC I've got in there that I built at the beginning of the year, that's got an i7, but it's a 6-core i7.
Okay.
Well, they had to go through and do something
it's a
because
later
of
gen.
the after the Spectre, which if you guys have been listening to the cast in season 1, we talked about the Spectre leak and what that meant for you on your on your
Spectre
processor.
Meltdown, yeah.
Spectre meltdown flaws that were found that went haywire and made everybody slow down their processors. They had to do something. They had to do something to make up for that loss of computational speed to kind of patch up that hole.
Well, it wasn't really like a loss of computational speed. It was more like a compromised data.
Well, well, okay. So the
Okay,
fix
so-
for it was actually turning
think
off
what-
the predictive.
Yeah, so I think what he
branching.
means is that the reason that
Branching, yes.
that the vulnerability exists is because Intel kind of cut corners in design of the processor
Uh-huh.
to make it faster, and that introduced the
Oh, okay, I
vulnerability.
see what you're
yeah.
saying. So they turned off, predictive branching. So okay, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
But yeah,
So new MacBooks. They got new i9s. I'm sure there was a RAM bump. But something that I was reading about is the storage options. So Apple laptops for a couple years now have been all about soldered in SSDs.
Stupid.
That means you can't upgrade your
Stupid.
you can't upgrade your storage internally
Yeah.
on the devices like you can most laptops. Even your budget laptops, you can
Right.
usually upgrade your hard drive.
But the benefit, I mean, not that I'm saying completely justifies it, but the benefit is that since it's soldered directly to the motherboard, it's much faster.
M.2 connections, man.
There's pros and cons. I know.
There's
I'm
pros and cons.
just playing around.
Is it
I have a
M.2?
MacBook as well.
You what?
Is it M.2 for that connection on the?
No,
MacBook?
it's
No.
soldered
a-
directly to the motherboard.
So it's a proprietary
yeah.
deal.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. The chips themselves are right on the motherboard.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
yeah. Because when they first started introducing SSDs into a lot of their MacBooks, it was like kind of started with the MacBook Air, and that was back when I was working at MMS.
Plus 2011, 2013.
It's a year long enough ago that I will be baffled that it was that long ago.
I think it was 2013.
Probably 2013 or something like
I
that.
think so.
But yeah, so like
Let's keep rolling, guys.
Yeah, so like that was back when I was working at MMS, and like that was back when we were still opening up MacBooks and working on the insides. And the MacBook Airs that had those SSDs were still actually using an M.2.
Connection on there.
Yeah, so like it was an actual chip SSD that you plug in like I've got on my computer right now.
Basically, that just means that you can actually replace your storage.
Right. But that was like super fucking expensive at that time, though.
So what's the pricing difference with these new MacBooks?
So I haven't looked at it myself, but when I was reading about it, there is a new 4 terabyte solid state drive option on these new laptops, which is a ridiculous amount of storage for a solid state drive to begin with. But it's going to come at a cost of $2,000 on top of however much that you're paying for those MacBooks. Which, if it's a MacBook Pro, you could already be paying $2,000 for the laptop.
Yeah.
Then you add on $2,000 for 4 terabyte SSD. You're talking about a $4,000 laptop.
What do you? Okay, so
But that's still $1,000 cheaper than the iMac Pro. Base price.
stupid.
Yeah.
Man.
So before we move on, can I ask what other features are there that they're including with this one? Is there anything different? I'm hearing stuff about keyboard differences on the new MacBooks coming out.
Yeah, so what that's all about is like the recent generations of MacBooks have like the really super short throw scissor keys.
Uh-huh.
And Apple actually just recently started a recall.
Yeah.
For like MacBooks within the past year and a half, mine's included. That
Are you going to
those,
send yours in even with its sticky keys?
they'll not repair it because of the sticky keys.
Will they at least send it back after they look at it?
Is it the ones? Is your?
Just
is
tell them. Those keys aren't
They're
sticky.
calling it because like what is it?
Maybe your workers shouldn't be spilling beer on my laptop.
I know there's a lot of like actually because when I worked at MMS, there was a lot of issues with the new MacBooks
Right.
where some of the keys wouldn't register on certain sides, especially the space bar on the right hand side. Like you hit it and it just wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, so it's definitely like the switches themselves, if you can even call them that. The switches were
Yeah.
like giving out.
Yeah.
And so there's recalls where they're doing that keyboard repair for free. So this new refresh of MacBooks is supposed to fix that issue.
Nice. So basically, it was like the Xbox 360. Yeah, because when it first came out, it was okay, but a lot of them didn't work, and then Microsoft was like, "We'll do it for free." But here's also an upgraded one you have to pay more money for, and then
That was when the Xbox Elite came out.
yeah. See, they get you.
Well, except now I haven't verified this, but I assume that the base prices are still the same for these MacBooks.
Okay, that's cool then.
So
Yeah.
what else? So there's nothing else new coming out with these MacBooks? It's just the same old, same old?
no new
Just
real
internal,
features.
I guess,
It's
huh?
internal spec bumps.
So would you say for our viewers whether or not
Should I get
they
one?
should have a MacBook? Should they still try to get a MacBook if they have a 2015 or newer?
Do your questions have an agenda behind them?
They do actually, because I want a new MacBook, and I
Actually do.
kind of want. Okay, so I can see using this keyboard, and I also use. I use my MacBook in a cradle most of the time. So mine, I have a mechanical keyboard hooked up to it and a mouse. It's great. It's fun. I basically use it as a desktop most of the time, but I like the ability to pop it off and run whenever I need to. But
You run with your. I just imagine you running and
oh, dude, yeah, no, all the time. Bobby was with me today.
Yeah.
We were running down actually towards the Union on campus, and I just have my laptop, and we're talking about trying to figure out how to write this app, man. Trying to plan stuff out. Everything's flying over. I had my coffee in the other hand too, so it was just splashing everywhere. It
So
was
you
terrible.
get your coffee and then you're pecking at the keyboard with your nose.
Yeah, I
No,
felt
no,
like a bird.
he had his coffee, but it's when you get to the level that Zach said, just floats next to you.
It just levitates.
Yeah.
Levitation, dude.
You write the app for that.
But in all honesty,
Yeah.
do we get it?
So-
Is this something that we should try to invest in if you have a relatively newer MacBook? So my MacBook, my personal one, is from 2013 or 2014. When did we go grab that? I think that was 2014, right?
Probably at the latest.
Because it was the year after I'd moved up here. So that was like Yeah, 2013, 2014 model. And then they kept that same model line until the 2015 model. And then at 2016, they switched over to these new models
Right.
that we currently use to run the show. And that is yours. And this one, they did the redesign with the touch bar and like the little scissor, like tiny keys and stuff like that. Is this the time to upgrade if you have one of those, like not the old laptops,
Right.
not the old ones, but I
Uh-huh.
mean a little bit older than this guy, the one generation right before the new laptop's coming out?
I would, if you can swing it, yeah, I would definitely think so. I think it's definitely a good upgrade. I mean, I upgraded to this one from a early 2013 MacBook Pro. So that was quite a big jump. That one already still had 8 gigabytes of RAM. I think it had quad core i5 and all that good stuff. But this is a huge jump and improvement. Like when we were running the show off my old one,
Right.
if I had anything but Cubase open, a lot of times Cubase would just drop the audio. And on this one, I've got a few different apps open, and we're still doing good. This one's got 16 gigabytes of RAM and all that stuff.
Now, granted, if you have one of the newer MacBooks, the ones that use the MagSafe 2, so like whenever they started getting thinner from the big old ones with the CD drive on there,
Right.
one thing I will say, my MacBook that is still the older one, like what Brad's old one was, still runs perfect, still runs great. I'm not needing a new laptop. And this is my older one that I use for personal use, and my work one that's 2015 model. They both work perfectly fine. But if you want the latest and greatest and the best, definitely go with those new ones.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I would say another consideration is like if you're a developer and you're using it in your work,
Yeah.
like that's justified.
Yeah,
and
because,
you
like-
should think about it. If you got an older model,
Because here's the truth, and it's something that I stand behind as well. Is that this isn't something I'm saying because I'm a Mac person. It's something that's backed up by numbers. Is that Macs are the most popular platform for developers.
Yeah,
and
that's
because
true.
it's because even if you're just running Mac OS, you're already on a Unix system, and it
You can run Windows on it. You can't run Mac on a regular Windows machine. You can,
it's
but
just
not
a lot
legally.
harder. And yeah, that's
Not
that's
legally,
the
dude.
whole legal thing.
We run things legally here
Yeah.
on Beers of the Round Table.
We are totally legal.
I'm not legal.
None of the software we use to create anything is pirated.
That's true, actually.
Whoops.
Or is it?
Lost my train of thought again. Damn it. Oh yeah, for developers, Mac is just a great platform because it's you've got a terminal that you can do a whole bunch of things in, and like all these software platforms that you're developing in are supported. It's just a great experience all around for developers themselves. Unless you're doing something that's specifically Windows, there's like Mac just has a better experience for all of it,
Except for video games.
except for video games.
Yeah.
But that's
And
why
Well,
I
that's
also
why I
have
I
a
feel like
PC.
they're making
Yeah.
an effort to, on Steam at least, to
Yeah, like,
provide more.
And like honestly, it's not really so much though a problem with developers supporting Mac or anything like that. It's just that
The market.
like Mac doesn't get the first rate support from graphics drivers. I
Yeah,
think
it doesn't.
Like because like this one, I think might have a discrete graphics card. I'm actually not even sure. I didn't really like that wasn't at the forefront when I was buying this laptop.
Yeah.
But like there's a lot of Macs out there that do have dedicated graphics cards, especially when you're looking at like the Mac Pros or like the iMac Pro if you really want to like burn your money. But even then, they're not really gaming oriented. I feel like
Yeah, they're not.
like you can
They
but-
are for a different kind of user.
exactly like when you throw like a ton of graphics power into a Mac, it's because you're doing video editing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're right. If you're gaming, Mac's probably not for you. But like, if you're a developer,
I feel like the gamer type wouldn't go towards the Mac anyway.
Yeah.
Even a
true.
gamer, though, at the same time, the new Macs have that USB Type-C carriage. I actually have a buddy of mine who was a huge Lenovo fan, like swore by it, ThinkPad, and he just got a MacBook, okay? And never had a MacBook before in his life, but he fell in love with it instantly. He's a developer as well. And his solution was to get one of those drive carriages and install Windows with Boot Camp because, again, a MacBook runs
It's fairly easy too.
it runs it completely fine. And my home solution, actually, I have my desktop connected to my TV, so if I want to play any kind of real, like, mouse keyboard games,
yeah.
in-home streaming has gotten so good now, as long as you get a good router, you can sit there and play whatever you want from across the house.
So, 2 questions.
Okay.
You already answered one of them, though, because my MacBook's from 2011. It's old. So I need to get a new MacBook.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you definitely do, man. If you have a
Yeah.
2011 MacBook, please upgrade.
old.
Please.
No Retina screen. Hurts my eyes to look at.
Oh,
You know,
no.
I
Falling
think
apart.
I think my first MacBook was either a 2010 or a 2011. I can't
2011, and
remember.
it's just like
No, it was a 2010. It was a
It's
mid
struggling.
2010. Then I went from the mid 2010 MacBook to a Retina early 13, and then now I'm at my
Your current level.
yeah, which I think is a late
And
2016.
my other question is, Brad, am I a developer?
Bobby,
You most certainly are.
You are most certainly a developer.
I just want to give you shit. Happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
All right, man.
Don't let anybody tell you that you're not a
I
developer,
know.
Bobby.
I'm just giving you shit.
Let's
You
move on to
are
our
a
next
developer.
topic here, guys. I'm going to go grab the Dosa keys real quick. Is everybody just about through with their
Yeah.
Tecate?
Yeah.
I'm at the level I want to be.
Yeah. Same.
I still remember Brad's face. It's like, are you alright? Like, did you just stub your toe really hard?
I'll tell you what. When I first took a drink of the Tecate, it was definitely like kind of a like, oh, this is completely different than what you just
Yeah,
had.
but
but
there's something there.
okay. But what I was more thinking,
Okay.
Okay, not what I was going for, but yeah, whatever.
what I was more thinking is that it was loads better than any of the crap that we drank last time.
Oh yeah. See, that baseline was important. That's why we did that. That's why we suffered
Let me grab the bottle.
That's
for
an
us
interesting
and for you.
assessment.
Oh baby, here we go.
That's the thing about Mexican cerveza, though, is that
Treat yourself.
they take they take a style that's generally flavorless. Because I think that I think it was actually kind of more so Mexican and Latin culture that kind of started the whole trend of beer salts. Because usually beer salt is lime and salt. I mean lime and salt just basically goes on everything in some way, shape, or form. And I mean, like whenever you-
Margaritas, yeah.
yeah, exactly. And you know, they took a beer that was generally flavorless or had a lack of flavor. And wow, I just forgot to open
Whoa.
even up mine right here.
That's crazy, Joseph. How'd you do that?
Magic.
See, if you watch the cast, you know, on Facebook.
Joseph just like yeeted a cap onto his arm.
Yeah, it's crazy. But you won't be able to see that unless you watch it live on our cast on Facebook.
Hey, we're gonna have this up on YouTube as well. Check out our YouTube channel. We are
Once Scott works through the backlog.
yeah, of course, the backlog and stuff. We also
Shout out to Scott, who couldn't be with us today.
We also, if you guys come check out our YouTube, you'll actually find out that we actually started the singing in the bathroom meme that kind of exploded
actually
a couple
did.
weeks
Yeah,
ago.
and I'm trying to. Yeah, you guys did that. I've been saying that. Like, you guys totally did that.
If you guys want us to, we'll do another recording in the basement of the apartment complex
Where it all started.
where it all started,
rather.
where our dreams of becoming media giants started, and we'll cover whatever song you guys want, including Toto from Africa or Africa from Toto.
Bobby, you weren't supposed to lime it yet.
Oh
Was it?
shoot, dude, no.
We were gonna take like a raw drink and then we were gonna put.
I did take a raw drink. No, I
Here,
didn't.
you can have a drink of mine. I'll let you get a
Okay.
drink of this. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So
By the way, Bobby, Jordan David Gillette.
Yeah.
Gillette? I
Hey,
don't
what's
know.
up, dude?
He says, "I heart Bobby."
Hey, Jordan, how you doing, man?
it's been
Hold
a
on.
real good cast tonight, guys. Thank you
Real,
all
real.
so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
We
Shout
have
out
been
to-
enjoying all of everybody's company on the live stream.
This table isn't round. Sorry.
Yeah,
We only have so
Okay.
much we can do.
I'll,
Wait,
I'll tell
who
you.
said
I'll
that?
tell you. Oh, it's Franklin Kraft. I don't know who that.
Franklin Kraft. What up, dude?
Well, I want to say to Franklin Kraft.
We used to.
We used to have a round table.
Yeah.
We did.
Sadly, we don't.
And then my parents were getting rid of
You
the table.
know,
and now
what
we have a
is
square
round?
one.
If you zoomed in on the corner of this table, it wouldn't be perfectly 90
Oh God,
degrees.
Joseph, you got to stop, man. You're,
But
you're
It would
gonna,
be round.
This is a flat earther bait. So it sounded like most
But-
of those
but
guys.
you know what? Joseph still has the round table.
I do still have
You
the round
have it.
table.
I've
I
got a round
recently
table
put it
too.
into
Whenever
my
you watch our
apartment.
back bars.
I actually don't think I have a round table at all anywhere in my house. But those two, shout out to Jordan and Franklin, both. You know, shout out to back to my high school.
Okay, so wait, what?
Give me
Do I
that.
just
No. Oh
You just
God.
fucked it up, didn't you?
Yeah.
give me a fresh lime?
Drink some more of that. You got to drink some more before you pop that lime in there. You didn't pop yours in there, right?
No.
He's following the rules.
I followed the rules.
Did you grab a drink yet?
No.
No. Grab a drink, man. Grab a drink. Drink some of that down. Get that flavor
I
in
just
there.
did.
Get
This
some of that
one-
flavor in there.
Characteristically, it tastes the most different,
It does
but not in a bad way.
I want
Like-
to say that, like on the spectrum,
on the Richter
this is
scale.
like the flattest. Oh,
This
when,
is
when I say,
shaking
when
me
I
in my
say when I
boots.
say flat, I'm not talking about flat carbonation. I'm talking about
flavor profile.
yes.
Yeah.
Wait till you put that lime in it.
Yeah, dude.
Just wait.
Now we can pop the limes in,
Pop a lime
boys.
in it. Here it goes.
Because this is the way you're supposed to enjoy it.
I think my wedge is too fat.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby.
This that lime profile, fam.
Let it be known. Brad's wedge is too fat.
Brad,
Jesus, dude.
Brad,
don't-
yeet that motherfucking lime in your beer, all right? Yeet it. Put that lime. I hope you guys watch that live. Brad just yeeted that lime in that beer.
Ryan
Smash that lime
I like
button.
that it
Ryan
fizzes.
Londono.
Wow, dude, that's an old one. What's up, Ryan? I
He
never hear
says
from you anymore.
he says, Bobby, let's go skate.
Dude, I don't skate anymore. Actually, you can have my skateboard. Actually, no, I'm supposed to give it to Justin, so you can't have my skateboard. But what's up, Ryan? How you doing, fam?
Ooh, I like that with the lime.
It's see, there we go.
See?
Yeah.
There we go.
See?
Brad is now discovering the king of beer making here at the table has tried his first Dos Equis with a lime in there. So I am very proud of you tonight, Brad. Let's move on to our next topic, though. All right.
Happy birthday, man.
Happy freaking birthday!
Thank you.
You should have blown on the lime, man.
Blown on it.
Blown on the lime. Dang, do we? We'll get another dose with
Here,
the
we
lime
have-
in
we
there
have- we
later.
have some lime.
I'll light it on fire too. You guys got a lighter on you?
I do actually in my car.
All right.
Yeah,
That's
all
my
right.
car.
Anyway, so I think we're gonna for our last topic, we're gonna briefly touch on a little bit of politics.
We'll do happy or sad politics first.
You know,
let's start with the sad so that we can end on a happy note.
So okay. So the news recently. I don't really want to talk about this. Really, it's kind of weird. But basically, what was like 12 Russians have been indicted on the Mueller trial
Yeah,
investigation.
yeah.
which
Paul
I mean,
Manafort went to jail,
He did go to jail.
that's
jail.
great.
You can see his mugshot online.
but
So I read a little bit about the Russians being indicted, and I think it's really interesting. So these were the Russians that have been charged with hacking emails,
DNC, yeah.
and then like
And
also
Hillary-
finding like
So
some
wait,
Hillary
they're
emails.
charging the Russians?
Yeah, it's
wait. When is what is it? When did this happen exactly?
This happened
like,
today.
Today,
Yeah.
this happened today. So I mean, like they're indicting some Russians.
Uh huh.
It probably nothing's ever going to come out of that.
Well, I mean, like, what are you gonna do to Russians? You think they're gonna
Exactly. So,
extradite them?
yeah, right.
It's more of a formal thing, though. I think it's Robert Mueller saying that, hey, these specific Russians did this to America. So if they ever come to America's soil, then we're going to arrest them.
we're gonna give him a spanking. Don't do that. No. And then
Anyway, so what's super interesting though is that they figured out like exactly when this hacking happened, and like the time that they did this, and they figured out that this happened on the same day, or on or about the same day that Trump went on TV and said, "Hey, Russians, can you find Hillary's emails for us?"
Oh my god.
And they
Oh.
did it like right then.
That sounds like some 4chan shit, dude.
it is 4chan. You know why? It's all in there. See ya.
But
No.
they also figured out that these guys were working after, well, I'm putting this in quotes, after hours to do that.
So not
And
on
they were
official
spirit-
time.
they're-
So basically, it's Russia or somebody basically is claiming that they didn't do it in official capacity.
Yeah, the Russians worked overtime to hack Hillary's emails on Donald Trump's command.
Bro, this
they're-
wasn't even a
they're-
full work day for them. This was
Wait.
just like their, hey, I gotta finish
Overtime.
this up, dude.
Do what?
Overtime.
Like what I remember reading quoted was what did I just say earlier?
Bro, this is like me staying over to send an email. They view this as like sending a damn
Yeah,
email
after
to people.
After hours. It was like,
Like-
they stayed at work late and were like, hey, let's
Let's just do this real quick.
Let's get cracking on Hillary.
And do this and go grab a drink. Go grab some vodka.
Vodka. Anyways,
Or they were just drinking vodka while they were hacking Hillary's emails.
To be honest with you, I'm pretty sure that's probably how their businesses work.
So just for some context, okay, what time do you guys estimate this debate was going on? About like around now, 7:00, 7:40. About
guess
okay.
so.
So in Russia right now, it's 3:48
In the morning?
a.m.
in the morning?
in the morning.
hey, that's when I normally go to sleep.
You don't have to drink.
After hours.
That's very after hours.
You don't have to. You don't have to sleep whenever you have vodka, man. You don't have to do anything whenever you're in Russia.
But
man.
like, so, shit, I had a point.
I think we all did.
the Tecate's getting to you, man.
Go ahead. I got to come back to
Well,
It's that line.
you know the
That damn
entire
lime.
thing with with the Russia.
Oh, I remember now. Sorry.
Wow! No, let's act.
Go ahead. I remember now, though.
Well, I've already lost my train of thought. Now.
No, but it was really interesting. Like, just I want to say, like, to the level of investigation that they're kind of doing with this whole thing and like figuring this out. Like, it was specifically listed that the Russians engaged in spearfishing.
Oh,
Spearfishing to get this information.
Mackerel or tuna?
So for
Damn it.
those of you out there who aren't into the security realm of computer stuff,
Hey.
spearfishing is a subset of phishing. So phishing is basically email targeting people and being like,
Generally.
I'm somebody official,
Yeah.
and you need to do something. Click this link. We'll
Right.
get your credentials. So spearfishing is a more targeted version of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're targeting somebody specific. You want to.
Yeah, so like it was said that
Exploit.
they targeted like domains known to be used by Hillary Clinton and her like
That's smart.
Which is easy
people.
to find because all you have to do is go through Facebook, which was a huge tool used through there. This is where the social
Yeah,
engineering
social
part goes through.
engineering.
Remember
You figure
Cambridge
out
Analytica?
exactly who goes through and subscribes to what pages. Whenever
Yeah.
you subscribe to, mommies of, whatever city you're at, you're subscribing to a basically social circle. And Facebook, you can actually go to your settings for advertisements and actually see how Facebook views you in regards to your political leanings. If you're
Facebook got
leftist-
me right though. I'm a moderate.
Yeah,
Interesting.
apparently now I'm a moderate as well.
I don't remember. It definitely said I was liberal, but I don't remember what kind.
It said I was liberal, and then I started sharing more and more stuff, and it's like, you're moderate, aren't you?
Yeah. See, and that's the thing right there is that it has all that information. Even if you don't put yourself down as that, it'll
Yeah.
analyze it as you.
Yeah,
So
I'll figure it out.
they use those tools, and then as Joseph was saying, you can target based off of that. You know exactly where to attack to. I mean, in all honesty, you just have to
because
correlate.
we've run a few ads on Facebook as Beers of the Round Table, and it is insane the level of targeting you can do with those ads. Like we can just get down to it. Like we want liberals or we want conservatives. We want
This age
we
group.
want far right wing conservatives that are all about survivalism and
that are in 400 feet of this zip code right here.
Yeah, like it's ridiculous the level of like targeting you can do to these people. Like if you want, you can target a very 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 small group of individuals.
Yeah, and normally if you're a big advertising firm, you have
You want
special-
a broader.
you want broader, and you have better like tools to analyze.
But what I'm-
what your product will
But like
work in.
like what's really going on though is we have a lot of these like I hate to use the word fake news that it's these Russian trolls that are like creating articles or just like sharing things, and they're targeting in a way that they're hitting the base that they want to anger and rile up. And
Keep this in mind too. We don't make profit off of this. We do this because we love doing Beers of the Round Table, and we're
Yeah.
able to afford advertising from time to time. So doing these mass targeting advertisements, it's actually really cheap whenever you go to boost your posts and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
It's extremely cheap. It's
for
pennies.
$5 a day, we can attempt to reach
5 cents a
a
day.
few thousand people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you need because after that, it's like kindling a fire.
Yeah.
After that, it just spreads.
Yeah.
It just spreads.
It's like
man.
a
And it's interesting because like this idea is not new. I mean, it used to be television.
Yeah.
Yeah,
television
very true.
Yeah.
absolutely shapes the way you think about things, but now it's what you consume on the internet.
But after all these
You have a USB Type-C charger.
I mean I do, but it's using my laptop right now.
I have one in my car.
Oh, that's fine. Continue, Brad.
You
Oh
did it
no!
again.
The other thing was I'm going to say this. The other thing was that Paul Manafort went to jail.
He did. Yeah,
I
we
was gonna
briefly
say,
talked
He's
about
in
that.
let's talk about that.
solitary,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well,
He's in
solitary.
solitary. Interesting.
Wait,
No, they keep him in,
Did
like
you-
I
did
did
you-
read this.
Yeah.
Solitary for 23 hours a day. But
Damn.
in solitary, he has access to
the internet.
Internet.
Oh,
He has his laptop in his cell. He doesn't have
What?
to wear.
Do they-
He doesn't have to wear a jumpsuit. He doesn't have to wear a jumpsuit or anything like that. He wears normal clothing that he wants to. He has access to his laptop.
So he gets to basically the only thing is that he gets a. Can he just not use his Reddit account? Is that
No,
what
no,
it
no.
is? His
No,
Facebook account. He has to
literally
use his.
what it is, like,
I'm in jail Facebook account.
What he did, what
can only
he
look at
got
memes.
indicted for and got put in prison for, put in jail for, he's still doing it kind of because apparently what happened was he was complaining that the jail that he was at had a request to be moved. He said that his lawyers had to drive 2 hours from D.C. to where the prison was, or the jail, whatever it was, and it was a big problem. And like, okay, we can move you to like one closer, but it's like maximum security. And he's like, no, I'm fine here. So he stayed there. So what happens? Apparently, what happens now? And this is on the 4chan. This is on the political board. So if anyone wants to argue with that, go there. So I saw it, and then I saw it somewhere else too. But what happens now is his lawyers show up and they talk to him, and they're allowed to converse stuff. He drafts an email up on his laptop, and
These are the sounds of
Yeah.
him drafting up an email.
he drafts up his laptop email, and then his lawyer will come in and like they'll review it together. All right, cool, awesome. And then his lawyer will have that email. They'll transfer it over, send it over, document, whatever. They won't send the email out because it's on, the prison's or jail's Wi-Fi or whatever. So they can't
so
see
you
what
can
it's doing.
intercept it. Yeah.
So what happens is that lawyer will leave and go back 2 hours somewhere else, and then connect to the internet and then send the email out. So what he was in prison, was got sent to prison for, he's still doing it apparently. And I was like, that's really weird.
What was he charged with? I thought it was,
Well, it was
like
witness tampering, yeah.
And
okay.
okay, so when
Because he was the one who shredded all of the documents a couple months ago, right? That's whenever they did the sting and the bust. And
no, you're talking about Michael Cohen, who was a former lawyer of Donald Trump, who
Yeah.
has not been charged or arrested yet. He is still acting as like the financial chair of the Republican National Committee.
Well,
Yeah,
I
he
do
just got
know as
fired,
a
I
side
think.
thing, they were able to reconstruct those shredded documents. So I
Yeah,
feel bad
so,
for those interns.
But no, talking about what he was charged.
This beer's
what,
for you guys.
What Manafort was charged with was witness tampering.
Witness tampering,
And
right.
reading about like what it is that he actually did is that he was using. I want to say he was using WhatsApp.
Wow.
He was using WhatsApp
Yeah.
to message somebody, and it was like basically trying to like. Oh, I can't. I read the messages, but it was like trying to like tell somebody, "Hey, let me talk to you. I'm like innocent," or something like that, or like it's something around that. And then I
no.
think he was also like he was either getting somebody else to say it, or he was using an alias to tell another person like, "Hey, my friend Paul Manafort wants to talk to you. He's innocent. He needs to talk to or something like I don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that's like what the messages were like basically saying. He was basically like trying to tell these witnesses he's innocent.
Wow.
Or something.
Yeah, I knew it was. I thought it was witness tampering, but I forgot.
Anyway, it's bad that he's able to send those emails still from jail and all that kind of stuff, but it's great that he's in jail.
They're making moves.
They're making
They're
moves.
making moves.
So-
And we all knew it was going to be a slow process,
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bureaucracy of the government is very
Oh,
much so
it's
apparent in all
notoriously
branches and
slow.
stuff like
But-
that.
Yeah.
But
I got one more thing. If you guys are, if we're done with politics, I want to talk about one last thing.
I actually got good news about politics. Really, really.
Give me some good news, dude.
Really, not necessarily. I don't know if this is politics or political or not. But anyways, Elon Musk said he was going to go donate some money for the Flint, Michigan.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because that is still going on.
And it's really interesting because I can't remember what subreddit I saw that on, but it's basically like somebody like basically baited him into it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like somebody on Twitter was like, "I bet you won't give money to people in
That's
Flint,
Yeah.
Michigan."
It was probably in retaliation to the whole making a submarine for the soccer team over there
Yeah.
in Thailand or whatever.
But yeah, like somebody said that to him on Twitter, and then he was like, "Okay, I will," and he's like, "I'm going to go give all this money to
Bet
Flint,
you won't
Michigan."
pay for my college tuition on my student loans.
Brad,
Bro,
you're-
all of our loans. Well, yeah, I bet
please?
you won't fund us.
Bet you won't let me work for you either.
Bet you
Brad,
won't
your
fund Flipbit.
your birthday present was almost like a biography, not a biography, but like a kind of just a book on Elon Musk's
Your,
life.
Oh, yeah?
your birthday present almost just was Elon Musk, but we couldn't get in contact with him.
Your birthday present was whiskey because guess what? At least it'll keep you warm, not like Elon Musk and his lies. You're not gonna pay for our stuff, are you?
He never will.
Nah, shout out to Elon. You're pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
Oh, dude, for sure.
But I bet he won't fund us.
I mean, I'd like to work for him. It'd be dope to work for Elon Musk.
Nah, I just bet he's not going to fund Flipbit.
Yo, he's gonna kill us
fully.
Bro, with his flamethrowers.
This boring company.
Yeah, I bet he won't send us
To
5 boring flamethrowers.
Which are perfectly
wanna work
legal
for
in
the
the
guy.
state of Texas, so you can send them our way and we can actually use
let me
them.
work for you, dude.
I mean, you
all I want.
totally
SpaceX,
can, but I bet he won't.
SpaceX has a presence in Texas.
I bet he won't.
Yeah, it does.
you know what it does? We should
Go ahead and
yeah.
do
Anyway, so
sponsor.
yeah, so that's the end of our.
No, I got
politics
one more,
written
dude.
Segment. Is it politics?
I got one more. No, it's World Cup.
So it's still the end
Oh,
of
yeah.
our politics written
What
segment.
cup?
No, it's not
What cup?
politics. I just wanted to say this weekend, if you guys are interested,
What cup?
is the World Cup finale for
What's it, Croatia and France.
Croatia, France, England,
See, I
and
know that
Belgium.
much.
Hey.
So
Wait, is it,
basically,
wouldn't the final just be between two teams?
So this is the end. So basically, you have your third place final, which is between Belgium and England.
Oh, I gotcha.
England is a strong team. They came out strong. They broke a curse with their win against I think it was Uruguay. They had never.
You're gay.
They had gone into overtime and they had finished out with PKs, and England hasn't won a PK in like 20-something years, something like that.
Right.
So they broke the curse. They went forward and went up against Croatia this week, and this was for actually moving on to the finals. And Croatia won. Personally, I'm not happy about that, but that's my own personal thing right there. And so Croatia and France are going on to the finals. This is important because France is the producer of the largest number of professional soccer players out of any other country in the world, followed
They
only by
produce them there?
So basically, with rules for FIFA for the World Cup and stuff like that, you don't have to be born in the country. You just have to have a clear connection to the country, whether it be your parents or your grandparents, or you nationalized yourself there, or whatever the case may be. That you can technically come and be born and learn how to play soccer in France, and then you can go off to somewhere else and actually play for their team in the World Cup because of the fact that France also has relatively liberal, I think, immigration laws too since World War II, whenever they were doing the rebuilding. So they produced the highest number of soccer players. It was part of their initiative to kind of rebuild themselves after World War II, like I was saying. And it's a really interesting thing because you have this basically David versus Goliath deal going on where you have France, which is played absolutely fantastic, versus a underdog, Croatia. So Croatia, their actual team captain, who was actually raised and learned how to play soccer during the wars that took place, I guess, in Yugoslavia during the breakdown of their country. And he was told growing up that he would never play professional soccer because he was too scrawny, he was too weak, and he looks pretty small compared to a lot of the other players. This is the team captain for
Looks like
Croatia
me.
today. Shut the fuck up, dude. No, you do. You are the absolute opposite.
He looks just like me.
Bro, he's paper white. Paper
So am
white.
I.
People who have never watched our cast.
Bobby, Geoffrey or Jeffrey, I don't know how it's pronounced.
Joffrey Stankus?
Stankus.
Yeah, what's up, dude?
He says, that sidearm though. Damn it, Bobby.
Oh, goddamn.
Oh, he's looking at my arms?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to flex? I'm gonna flex on these. What's up, Jeffrey? Hey, man. Happy to hear that you got married, man. That's awesome. Shout out to Jeffrey.
Oh, congratulations to him. I'm sorry. Please continue.
No, I was just saying, Croatia has they're a small country, relatively new country after the breakdown of a lot of things over there. This is going to be a huge, huge win if they actually beat France, which I am kind of thinking France might end up winning. But you have a David versus Goliath thing going on this Sunday. If you guys, even if you're not interested, even if you're not interested in soccer, man, it still is. It's much different than last World Cup where it was Brazil and Germany, which it was kind of funny watching Brazil get absolutely destroyed by Germany because, everybody was like, oh, yeah, Brazil's going to win because, like I said, they're the second highest producer of Major League Soccer players, and they just got stomped. So, like I said, if you guys are looking for something to watch, even if you don't watch soccer, that's going to be pretty exciting.
Check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Well,
Hey,
yeah.
you know who's going to win, though? Remember back in 1587 when Sir Walter Raleigh?
I totally remember 1587. It is almost like yesterday.
So he came over and, they landed here in North Carolina, and then they had to leave, and then they came back, and the words Croatoan was carved in. They're a lost colony. That happened on July 22nd. Right? That's when they first landed here. So almost 600 years later,
Yeah.
lost colony comes back since Croatia. They're gonna win. They're gonna win the final cup.
It was a time traveler.
Yeah. See,
Oh, all right.
I'm just goofing.
Okay.
What's up?
So, yeah. So, we're going to, I think, bring it around back to the beers that we've been
Bring
drinking.
it around town.
Since Zach kind of popped out for a quick break, Bobby, we're gonna start with you. We're gonna switch it up today. We're gonna go what's this, counterclockwise? Yeah, no, clockwise. We're gonna go clockwise. What's that? You what? Okay, we're gonna go clockwise. So Bobby, starting with Nito Bandito, on a rate on a scale of 0 to Nito.
How bandito was it?
Damn.
Jesus, dude.
This has been bored. No, okay, so this beer, I didn't know what to think about it, and that's for most beers because I've never heard about this beer ever in my life. And hold on, I gotta get one more swig of this real quick.
Ooh.
That's a good beer. I'm gonna give this a 7. I would actually drink this on a daily. It's pretty nice. I don't know. It's just like the flavor. It was definitely a light beer. It's a lighter beer. I can't really describe the taste. It was like, I guess all light beers have like this biscuity.
That's how we should actually start our rating.
Just 7. So like all light beers have kind of like this, almost biscuity flavor they're trying to achieve somewhat. I
Yes.
feel like.
Yeah, to
Yes.
a certain degree. Yeah.
And this one definitely had that. I feel like a little bit.
Yeah.
I liked it. There's nothing bad about this beer. I think, hey, if you guys are out there and you think want a good light beer to drink, try this out. Try out the Nito Bandito. I liked it. I would drink it like all the time. Tecate.
Yeah. Oh no.
No, we're going around.
We're
Come
going
back
around?
around. We'll come back around.
All right. Well, yeah, 7. I don't really have too much to say about Nito Bandito, but it's good. I enjoyed it.
Joseph, 0 to Nito.
Let me think about it. I also have to take another sip.
That's right.
Ooh, there it goes.
Chris.
Okay. Yeah, no, I remember this one now.
We did drink this.
yeah. So, okay, it's a Czech-inspired Mexican-style lager. It's 6%. It's really good.
You're
This-
really good.
Czech
Thank you.
inspired.
Check.
It's
Eastern
Czech, yeah.
European, dude. Hey,
So,
that's pretty interesting.
I'm not
right
sure what that means exactly, but I do enjoy the flavor. It is very good. It is very light, as Bobby said. Biscuity. It's very it is very biscuity. I don't know, but I think I will give this a solid 6.5. I like a little bit of a different flavor. I like more flavors. I think the more flavors you can pack into a beer, the better. This is still a one you should check out, though. I would recommend it to anybody who hasn't tried the Mexican lager style. It's a good introduction because I'm also not a huge Mexican lager aficionado. I haven't tried a whole lot of them. This is a good one, though. So, yeah. What about you, Zach?
Nito Bandito.
Like, we all had to take swigs to remember what this beer was like.
Oh, man.
Did we drink this?
All right, so if you guys don't watch the cast, or this is your first time, whatever the case may be, welcome to Season 2. And also understand that I am a fan, unlike most of the people on this cast. I like strong spirits, and I like light beers. That was fantastic, dude. Absolutely
It was a good beer.
fantastic. Buttery all the way through.
Buttery. That's
It
the word
was,
I'm looking for. Yeah.
which is technically not a quality that you want to look
butter,
for.
like
Right.
when you
It's
brown it.
actually
Like a
a
biscuit.
quality that you do not want. And it is a quality that is found in small breweries that basically are trying to make lagers. I'm going to let you describe that, Brad. But what I will say is that I loved it. I'm going to give it a 9. This is going to be the highest score I've given
What the hell?
any beer on here.
Ooh.
I like lagers. I like light beers. I like lagers. I like pilsners. I like ales. Ales, pretty dark. And I do love dark beers and stuff like that too. But whenever we're talking about quality versus quantity in regards of flavors,
Yeah.
this beer takes the cake because a lager may not have the quantity, but this beer has got some fucking quality, man. For sure. For sure. 9 out of 10. Here you go, Mr. Brad.
All right.
Birthday boy.
Okay. Nito Bandito review.
7.5. I'm changing my score to 7.5. I'd like the beer. I would drink it.
You said 6 for yours?
I said 7
You
originally.
said
7?
Yeah, I said
You
6.5.
6.5? Oh.
I said 7.5 now.
I think I'll go with a 7 on this one. Well, I mean, like for me, like lager's not. I'm not really contrary to Zach. I'm not a big lager fan. I love my super dark ales, my stouts, super imperial IPAs, and all that good stuff. But this is good. Like I actually picked this one because I remember it was like I guess a couple years ago, whenever it was I first saw that this beer had come out, I thought that was really interesting. That a small craft brewery in America, in Texas even, is making a Mexican lager. Like, I thought that was really interesting to me. That seemed kind of uncharacteristic. You usually only see like Mexican lagers as macro beers.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a rare quality to actually find a good Mexican lager or any lager, light beer for that matter, in a small brewery.
Craft brewery, yeah, like just almost as a general rule, a lot of craft breweries don't make lagers. So like this, I wanted to try this one out, and I mean, as Mexican lagers go, I think this is pretty good. So I was genuinely impressed with this one.
Yeah.
It was good beer.
You said 7 out of 10?
7 out of 10, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Beautiful.
Back to the me with the Tecate.
Tecate.
This one, okay. So this is definitely a macro.
Oh yeah.
For a macro, it's good though. I will say that.
Tecate, the
Tecate
Bud
Light.
Light of Mexico.
So it is the original flavor. I think there's what's the other flavor Tecate that they have?
They have a light,
They
which
do
is a
have a
blue
light.
can.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is just original Tecate. Okay, so for this one, the initial sip for me was not that good because there was definitely a very, very different flavor profile from the Bandito. And I think that's what threw me off at first. But when you kind of drink it, if this is like the beer the first beer of the night, I feel like it'll just go up from there. And I feel like it does kind of go down if you switch from another beer, from that beer to this one. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one I guess a 4.5.
4.5.
It's not terrible. It's just this is not the beer that I would go for. It was way better than Busch. Like, no problem with that.
Oh,
Like,
God.
it wasn't like, I can like. It wasn't that I suffered through this or anything like that, or that I like. If I absolutely had to drink this beer, I would. It was no. It was just like a beer. It was like there was just nothing there, and it was better than Busch. But that again, that biscuity light flavor that you think of when you drink a light beer was definitely there as well. So I have to go with the 4 with this one. There's
4
not
out of
really
10?
there's not really too much I can say about Tecate, honestly. I don't know.
It's a lager, man. It's a Mexican
Yeah.
style lager.
It's just like it didn't have the butteriness of Bandito. I will say that, but it did have that light beer, but like biscuit flavor. And I don't know. I don't know what to say. I guess I'm just giving this a 4. I don't have much to say about this one, to be honest.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it. Smack that key button. There you go.
All right. Let me taste this again.
that face.
No, so okay, yeah.
It's warmed up, hasn't it?
I'm like I've been tasting
It's
all
just-
3 of them. It's
what I'm saying.
it's kind of hard to
Differentiate.
differentiate a little bit, but okay. I remember when I switched from Bandito to Tecate.
Didn't like it.
No, I actually liked it a little bit more.
What the hell?
Yeah, no, I
Really?
like Tecate because I don't know. I think it might just be that they have a little bit more consistency in their flavor. You can kind of I can't really speak to that because I don't drink a lot of Tecate. I haven't drank any Tecate. But I can sort of tell that it was definitely lighter in like as far as my flavor, my palate than the Bandito. And so to me that means it achieved the style a little bit better. And I enjoyed the flavor a little bit more because of that. There wasn't a little bit. There wasn't that extra stuff that Benito has a little bit.
Okay.
But I enjoyed the Tecate because of that. Because it's a little bit more not flavorless, but it was a little bit more true to the style. I feel like
It's because it is also a macro brewery, technically,
exactly.
in that area.
And so I think I'll go ahead and give this one a straight 7. Like you should try it. I mean, if you
What
haven't
the-
ever,
what
this
the
is
hell?
surprising, right? But no, it's really not that bad. Yeah,
Is that Joseph sitting over there?
What are you giving it, Joseph?
7.
Is that
7? Okay.
Is that still Joseph? No, seriously, look at me.
All right, so the Tecate, okay. I have drank this
72 times.
many a times in the past.
I counted.
It's like a lighter. It's like a different tasting. It's a different branch of Bud Light. I definitely feel that it's on that level. And we didn't actually do Bud Light on the
Yeah, we did.
What? No, we didn't.
We had Bud Light last time.
We did not have Bud Light.
Yeah, we
We
did.
did.
Yeah, we did.
What?
Yeah,
I
we did.
promise you we had Bud
it was
Light.
it was the only bottle that we had.
It was the only bottle.
Oh God. Well-
See, that's how much you dreaded that night. You just blocked it from your
Well, it wasn't even that because I'm like sitting there thinking to myself, well, it was Coors. I thought we had Coors.
We also
did.
had Coors.
What?
It was in a can.
Do you want me to name you the list?
Miller, my bad. The
We
white one.
did not have Miller.
It was the white one.
Hmm.
The white bottle.
We did not have Miller.
Yeah, we didn't. We had Bud Light, Coors, Keystone, and Busch.
Bush.
This podcast is not sponsored by Bush.
If you like our peaks, then you'll like our bush.
That's what my stomach did when I drank Busch. Just, actually, that's a bad thing. I think my stomach dabbed on Busch. It was like, nah, don't want this Busch. Get out of here.
In regards to a
What's this called?
Mexican style beer, this is also a lager.
Give me the number.
It definitely is similar to Bandito, but I don't think of it as being all that much different because of the fact that it doesn't have a unique flavor. One thing that I said at the beginning of the cast was the fact that although like Corona and Sol sometimes comes out skunked, you pair it with a lime, and actually the lime and that skunked flavor and scent actually creates its own profile. That thing that we would view as shittiness if you're a brewer actually turns to be an advantage for a Mexican lager.
The
You guys
lime
might
really
agree.
complements the spoiled beer.
Well, and the thing is that if you don't drink some of the beers that we do, you may not think of that as a spoiled
Oh, I know.
beer.
Yeah, it's definitely a quality of my snobbish palate.
Of course. And the other thing is too is that would you rather drink this or Busch?
Oh, this, I mean, by far.
Solid 6. Solid 6. It's I actually like the flavors of Bandito a lot. I mean, I really, really do. And
But what
this,
about Tecate?
Tecate is following on that, and really the reason why they taste the way that they do is because they have a formula down, and they probably just generally brew it better because that's their literal only job. But I don't think that it tastes great for that reason. I like the imperfections of Bandito.
All right.
Bobby, you said you had a 4, right? On the Tecate?
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It just didn't stand out to me, honestly. But that's not my turn. It's Brad's turn.
Yeah, so, okay, Tecate, I'm going to give a 5. I'm going to give a 5 because there's like I don't want to call it an aftertaste, although it does linger. But there's like kind of a flavor that just kind of hits you a little bit in the middle.
Didn't notice it.
Well, it's sticking out to me.
Yeah.
There's a flavor that just kind of hits you right in the middle of the palate and then just kind of continues on that I just really don't care for.
Oh, okay. maybe that's why I didn't notice it because everyone was like, "This is bad. No, get out."
Get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, like, it definitely has the profile of a Mexican lager, but there's just a flavor in there that is, like, offensive to me.
I hate this.
I don't particularly... Oh, God. I don't particularly care for it. So, yeah, 5 out of 10 on
5.
Tecate. Not too much else to say about
That's
that.
yeah, it just. It wasn't that it was unremarkable. It was just like I'm drinking a beer that I can drink. It was just like, eh.
All right, booby.
All right, so this is for Dos Equis, and they call it Dos Equis because there's 2 X's on it. You see that? If you're on a cast, you can see that. So for this one, without the lime, okay, I guess we have to give ratings for both.
If you
Maybe?
can remember what it was without the lime,
I
cool. Because we all rated these without the lime.
I mean,
Yeah.
this will kind of be like,
A bonus.
Dos Equis is this out of 10. Dos Equis with rice is this out of 10.
Yeah,
With rice.
with rice.
That's a whole
Rice?
subreddit.
It's
It's based off of an
Reddit
AMA.
meme. Yeah, well, it wasn't an AMA. It was actually an Ask Reddit.
Oh.
Yeah, like there was like some kid, and he was like,
Yeah.
he was like, what food do you think would go well with rice or something like that? And so people were like, commenting, oh, this would be interesting with rice, and like just commenting a bunch of foods. And apparently this kid just had like a bunch of rice and a bunch of these foods at his disposal.
Jesus.
And he'd be like, hot dogs, 5 out of 10. Hot dogs with rice, 7 out of 10.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter with rice.
6 out of 10. Peanut butter with rice. 8 out of 10.
what the hell is going on in this? What? Okay, anyway,
I witnessed that one. I witnessed that one
I
live.
wanna go check out the subreddit.
So we're gonna do Dos Equis out of 10. Dos Equis with
Rice.
lime out of 10.
Okay, so Dos Equis without the lime out of 10. I'm gonna give this a solid 5 because
Really?
it was good it was something. Okay, this is kind of biased, honestly, because anytime I go out to a bar and I'm not drinking a cocktail and I just want to get a beer and it's like a dive bar, like I'm, just, shout out to Cool Beans or or go out to one of the normal Denton bars out there and I just want a beer that I know I can just drink just to be social. I'll go grab this. I'll go grab a Dos Equis, and it comes with a lime because had it without lime.
That's how you dress it.
Yeah, I didn't really enjoy it without the lime. So I was like, it's a beer.
It's called garnish.
So for me, this is good. 5 is not I guess 5 is like a mediocre score. It's okay. It's just like an okay beer. It's something you can drink, something you shouldn't hate.
I mean, it's really interesting when you talk about the range out of 10. It's like nothing's good unless it's an 8 or higher.
Yeah. That's so pretty much. So this is an okay beer. If you've never had Dos Equis, go get it and buy a lime with it, so you can try the difference between the two. But without the lime, I'm gonna give it a 5. Just something I would. It's like if you don't have a lime, I can still drink this.
You said how much?
5 out of 10 without the lime.
Still 5 out of 10 without lime,
Without the lime.
and then with the lime.
With the lime, it's 7 out of 10.
What?
Ooh.
Yeah.
What?
Without a lime, 7 out of 10. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. I'm being serious.
You like that lime in there, huh?
When that lime, it gives you a little extra kick, and I feel like it. You can kind of differentiate the flavor profile a little bit. Like, oh, this is what it tastes like before the lime, and it's like it's better with the lime. I feel like, especially when the lime's sitting there for like a little bit, not too long. You don't want that lime to get soggy. You want that lime to sit there a little bit. And if you guys notice, I actually poured both of these in the glass. Didn't pour this in the glass.
Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
Because I don't know why I didn't do that.
Because the lime's got to go in the bottle.
I'm gonna go in the bottle.
You gotta marinate it.
So yeah,
Marinate it.
So I like it. I think it enhances the flavor profile a little bit, and it gives you a little kick at the end. Or maybe right at the beginning you taste the lime, and then it's just like the normal Dos Equis, and I think that's what's like, hey, there's lime in this, and it's like, oh, it's also Dos Equis. So, a good beer with the lime, 7 out of 10 with the lime. Without the lime, 5.
Nice.
Fair.
Joseph.
So yeah. Smack that. Smack that button real quick.
Yeah.
This begins my review. So without the lime, I gotta agree with Bobby. It was about a 5. It was good. It wasn't terrible. It was drinkable, palatable, true to the style, all of that. But the second you put the lime in, it just brings it to a whole sort of different level. A couple levels, maybe even 3 different levels. But the lime to me, what it does is it wakes up the beer. It adds a little bit of that freshness. It just puts a whole punch of freshness in it.
Yep.
It tells
And
the beer, hey, it's drinking time.
Yeah, exactly. And I had Torchy's today, Torchy's tacos, and I think I was craving something to go on the back end of it, and I didn't get, I got like a soda. And that was good. It had the carbonation, like beer does.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I think what I was really craving was a Dos Equis with lime. Because I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10 with the lime. So from a 5 to an 8 with the lime, on my scale anyway. It really is a good combination. So yeah, to quote the commercials a little bit, I don't always drink Mexican lagers, but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis with a lime.
With the lime.
Very true. Very true. Okay, my turn. Okay, so for Dos, I've been drinking Dos for quite a while now. Delicious. I don't even
Still
have to
is.
drink it to know it. Dos without a lime. I've had it plenty of times because there's a lot of times I keep this as a regular in my fridge. I'll have some, more rare craft beers in there, but my go-to whenever I'm on my way home and I can't stop by somewhere that offers that, I'm going by like a beer barn or something like that. I'll go pick up, 6-pack of Dos because I know that they'll have it and I know that it'll be there and I know it'll be good. The thing about Dos is that the quality control on it is really, really great. And I mean, we're talking about Tecate. I've had it plenty of times, but it does feel like I've had many different beers where it's changed in quality. Corona, the direct competitor, I would say to Dos, the same one that also says put a lime in our beer too. The variance on the quality in that one is astronomical. Some of them are
3.
completely skunked, and the other ones taste exactly like Dos sometimes, or like Tecate. It just depends on how long that thing had been sitting in the light. What I will say though is that Dos, even without a lime, is always a solid beer. I'm gonna give it a solid, say, maybe like a 7 out of 10. I would drink it even if I didn't have any limes, and I would still enjoy it. Now, whenever it comes with the lime, oh boy. I'm not going to say it's my favorite beer. I'm not, because I do have a lot of beers that are up there in that 9+ category. I
Yeah.
usually don't get very many high scores, but I like light beers, and whenever you throw that lime in there, it brings itself up to a solid like 9.5 in my book. I mean,
What
it
the
really
hell
does, dude.
is
That's
that?
the highest score that I've ever given.
Is that sad?
And it's kind of embarrassing, to say, considering
it's
that
not.
we make our own beers, and we have like some of the most expensive beers and rarest beers out there here on the cast. But sometimes what you enjoy at the end of the day, what I look for whenever I'm looking for and rating a beer, is what would I like to drink at the end of the day whenever I'm just hanging out with friends, whenever I'm not just trying to go with the flavor, something just to complement my night. Dose does a pretty damn good job at it, man. Especially here in Texas where it's a hot summer day, that lime really helps out, and adding that refreshing sense to it. Brad, you go, man.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So Dos Equis without lime, I'm gonna go ahead and say probably like a 5 out of 10. Like when I first tasted it, I was like, this is a very flat. Like I said, not flat as in carbonation, flat as in flavor profile. There wasn't a whole lot going on. It's just like a beer. Like I could tell
Yeah.
there was alcohol. I could tell it tasted like
It's drinkable though. It's just like
It's
I can
drinkable,
drink this. Yeah.
But then I added the lime in there. It definitely dressed it up a whole lot. But for me, the highest that it got was probably like a 7.5.
Okay.
But I mean, it was definitely a very good flavor. This is definitely something that would definitely go well with food. Because like that's something that I think I have a little bit of a difficult time with. Is like whenever I go out to eat somewhere and I want a good beer, I'll get like one of my favorite styles is starting to become an IPA, and I'll get an IPA. But the hoppiness with a beer like an IPA really kind of cuts into your enjoyment of the food. Because like
Yes.
I've found that like hoppy beers will accentuate spiciness, and it's not a good combination for me. Other people might disagree, but for me, like I don't really like that. So I mean, it's hard for me to find like a beer that will complement food really well that way. So with this, I think it would go really well with food. It won't get in the way of what you're tasting, but it's got a good flavor to it. It'll still be refreshing, especially with that lime in there. So 7.5 with a caveat.
Nice.
All right.
So before we end up here, Jeffrey Stankus.
What do you say?
He asked us, I'm curious, all-around question for the table. What's y'all's favorite beer? Mine is the Blood and Honey by Revolver. So I want to go ahead and go around real quick and try to figure out what our favorite.
Oh,
right? It's a hard question.
shit.
It's a hard
Dang,
question. I
yeah.
just saw that,
Okay.
Joseph. You're like,
All
oh, damn. Okay.
Okay.
Bobby, go. You got
All right.
you got 2 seconds to answer.
2 seconds. That's my favorite beer. 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
All right. So Jeffrey, I actually really do like Revolver Blood and Honey, but there's another. I forget the name of it. It's like a dragon milk stout.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
I
I
found-
don't know if that's the exact name, but I know what you're talking about.
It's one of those beers out there. I really like ciders too. Like I love my ciders, but I think my all-time favorite beer. It's honestly between the Dragon Milk Stout and what you made that one time that I tried. It was really good. What it was.
What did I make?
Grizzly Green Bear.
I think that's what
Was
it
it
was.
was it the IPA?
No, it was the other one.
Was it a stout?
Yeah.
That was our
Oh.
that was the Bear Czar.
Yeah.
The Bears.
That. Oh my God.
See, and that's
Dog.
another thing too that I will say. Like that one's probably like up there as one of my. I don't know if I can sit there and say that I have a 10, but I would say that one up there is like 9.7. I mean, for sure.
Yeah. That,
Like
that, that
we're
beer
getting
for
into the
me-
high area where it starts
Yeah.
condensing.
Well, I appreciate.
Oh, okay.
No, the one thing that I will say about tonight's cast that I want to make very clear to everyone, the difference between this, because there's not very much of a difference. I mean, Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Lite, all of those light beers that you see from the macro breweries that we tried in the last cast are also of a similar style as this right here. They're big breweries. They're made for people who just want to have a beer. They don't want to have to pay $5 a bottle, whatever the case may be, or go to a specialty place to get that beer. But one thing that I will say that is characteristic of a Mexican lager in my mind is that while you have these beers like Bud Light and the macro breweries that don't focus on flavor at all, it's about getting your buzz on, something like that. And you also have the opposite, which is like the beers are,
Yeah.
where it's all about the flavor. It's not about getting fucked up. It's about enjoying it. If a little bit of buzz comes
if you
on,
enjoy enough of Bears are, it's gonna get you fucked up.
Yeah.
no matter
it
what.
did.
No matter what, though, the thing is,
12.5%.
dude, there is plenty of them out there. But the thing is that you don't drink those to get fucked up, because no matter what, you still got to buy multiple bottles and buy the bottle.
Yeah.
Bud Light's gonna get you to that point a lot cheaper. Mexican lagers are special in a sense that you can be eating a dinner or something like that. I've come to find in my experiences, and the reason why I love the style, or I've come to love it, is you can drink it and it has flavor. You can enjoy the flavor with that lime in there. And then, I find this also similar for Blue Moon. They use oranges in theirs. And then it's not about getting a buzz on, because this is relatively low ABV. I want to say it's like 4%, right? Somewhere in that range.
Which one?
Dos Equis, for example. These beers are relatively light in calories, too, and not very filling. They are light beers, even if they don't say them on the can. Even the Tecate, which is not the light version of it,
Dos Equis is 4.2.
4.2%. You get the same low ABV like Bud Light. And if you're trying to be, we don't condone drinking and driving here on the cast. We spend a lot of time before or after we get done with our cast, before we actually have to go home.
Yeah, we basically spend the night here.
The thing is that, with a Dos Equis, a full-grown adult can enjoy a dose.
6 times.
Enjoy their food, and not be buzzed, not be just drinking to get buzzed, not have something that's flavorless, something that complements whatever you're enjoying that night. And, at the same time, it's not the center of the party. It's not the life of the party.
Yeah.
That's something that I've always really appreciated about this style, and I've been really, really happy getting to do this cast tonight, guys. Thank you all so
for
much.
Sure. No, that was awesome. So while you were gone, actually, Jeffrey asked us what our favorite table beer was, and mine was between the Bear Czar that actually I really I don't know if you guys know, but I really
Table
like,
beer. You
yeah,
said.
I really, really, really like Brad's Bear Czar. I thought that was really good. I was like, this is one of the best beers I've ever had, like hands down. Another beer that I really like.
Are these a
called-
couple of just random questions sent to us
This
here?
is one that's on the live stream.
Yeah, well, this one looks like it actually went to our questions on mobile.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
So mine, I guess right
okay,
now
here
at
it
this
goes.
moment it's a beer by New Holland. It's Dragon's Milk. It is a 12% beer. It's like
Favorite table beer? I'm not seeing it on
it's
mine here.
it's a bourbon barrel aged stout. It's really good. I remember the first time I had it, I was actually making steaks. We were having steak night with my roommate or my friend and roommate Eric. What's up, Eric?
Let me know.
So we had like these
if they say anything on there.
huge $15, like $20 steaks that we were making that we got from Winco, and we ate some really, really nice steaks at night. And then he's like, "Hey man, try this beer out," and it was the bourbon barrel aged stout, which was the Dragon's Milk. And I was like, man, this pairs really, really well, but it's also just a really, really good beer. But the only issue with that is that they come in packs of 4, and it's like a $16 pack for a 4. But if you have a chance to try it out, I highly suggest it. It's really, really good beer.
Oh, $16 for one beer?
for four.
Or for 4 beers?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I've paid much more for a single beer.
I know you have. And then there was another beer that I can't remember that we did on the cast that I think I gave it a 10, and I don't remember what it was. I think we all gave it like 10s because it was so good.
Was it the brown ale?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I
that would be
forgot.
right.
Oh, wait, I'm a liar. The Creature of Habit is
Creature of Habit, that's the
Creature
one.
of Habit is one of my favorite beers.
It's one of our favorite beers
Yeah.
on the fucking cast.
Yeah, Creature of Habit, and then there was also Big Bad Baptista.
Yeah.
Those beers,
Yeah.
if you haven't had those beers in your life, go get those beers right now. I don't care what you're doing. Actually, I care what you're doing. Do it in a safe manner. Go get those beers if you can. Those are good beers. But also try out the Dragon's Milk.
Yeah.
That's really, really good as well.
So,
If you're curious about what we drink as a table beer, more so before the cast, we are fans of like Montucky.
Montucky is one
Yeah.
that we drink a
And
whole lot.
Shiner.
that's one that we usually have Shiner. We
Shiner.
keep it pretty light
Yeah.
before the cast,
Yeah.
before we get
Texas.
started. But generally speaking, table beers, as long as it's kind of relatively flavorless, because you don't want to ruin the palate beforehand. That's one thing that I will say. Although I love Dos Equis, this is still a main course as compared to what we would drink before the show, being like
I would say the same.
a Montucky cold snack has been our favorite here for a while. One of our favorites as kind of like a pre-gamer, so to speak.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a lot of flavor. You can find it in It's in relatively obscure places. Here in Denton, we've got a lot of places where you can buy it from.
I've found that you can generally find it if you find a Total Wine. A lot of Total Wines will carry it.
They'll run it a little bit, but it
you're
still is
not-
relatively obscure,
Yeah,
though.
you're not going to find it at Walmart. You're not going to find it at Target. Definitely try to go to something like a Total Wine or
A Midway Mart.
Midway Mart, a local bottle shop or something like that. But we're starting to run a little bit long, so we got to keep moving. Joseph,
Yeah.
favorite beer of all time? If
Yeah,
you can,
so
real quick.
we have a lot of good beers.
Yeah.
On the cast. Obviously, that's kind of the point of the cast. I just want to give a shout out to the beers that we make. The Bears are and the Grizzly Green Bear. Those being like amazing on the homebrew
Dude,
scale.
That
As far as the ones that we've had on the cast, I remember the pottery from the brewery
Oh yeah, that one was good.
very, very well.
That was really good.
That one was super good. Probably one of my favorites we've ever had
was that
on the
the one that
cast.
I missed?
And I think that was the highest score I gave on the cast.
No, I think we had it at the same time we had Big Bad Baptista.
There was the Boardiversary.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
But that Big Bad Baptista was my favorite. Oh my god! Holy shit!
Yeah,
No,
so
sorry, go ahead.
I have the episode art, pulled up here. But yeah, on our Boardiversary, we had the pottery, we had KBS, and we had Hephaestus from Clown Shoes.
Oh, yeah,
okay, so
Hephaestus.
no, we had the Big Bad Baptista on a different night.
I remember Hephaestus. Hephaestus was really.
Hephaestus, that was one of my favorite.
Yeah.
for sure.
Hephaestus was good.
That was good.
Yeah. Zach, real quick, if you can think of your best beer of all time.
I can't, man. I'm not going to sit there and try to go through the entire list. I will say one of my favorites, and this is going to be kind of biased, was, again, this is one of my favorite casts that we've done so far because I am a Mexican lager fan. Brad, you've been one of my best buds since, way back when, and whenever you helped me make that Mexican lager, the Angry Bear Mexican lager, what did we come up with for a name on that? It was Oso, Cerveza Los Oso or something like that.
It was like Oso something.
Cerveza del Oso.
It was-
or
'cause it was-
del Oso.
It was
Something
bear
of the bear. Yeah.
Beer of the Bear. That would be Cerveza del Oso.
Hombre Oso or something.
Hombre Oso, yes.
Yeah.
Bearman. Yeah, Bearman was. Thank you so much, dude. I've forgotten that name, and I honestly.
The more I think about that now, I really like that name, Hombre Oso.
We're gonna be making another
We're
round
gonna
of
make some
that
more Hombre
pretty
Oso.
soon. I honestly think it's about time to go ahead and get started on a new batch. Well, let's
for
get
sure.
that started here. Start talking about it after the
Yeah.
cast. But that was actually one of my favorite ones, and the reason why it was one of my favorites is for the same reason why I loved Bandito tonight. It wasn't perfect. It had imperfections to it. But one of the great things about it was the appreciation for the work that went in there. And the thing about the lager still was even though we actually didn't do the best job making it, it came out a little buttery, which is not a trait that you want. After we let it sit in a bottle for a while, our loved ones tried it, and they said
cleaned
that
up
it
a
was
little bit.
it cleaned up really nicely. And the thing that was key that I found that turns me off of like the Tecate was that middle taste that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't mind a first burst, clean, medium, and then maybe like a light finish. I don't
Yeah.
mind that even whenever it comes to even skunked beers like Corona.
Yeah.
With a lime, the lime goes through and acts as that finisher. But man, whenever we did that, it was, in my mind, as clean as could be. It was a fantastic experience. One of these days, I think we're gonna have to do a beers of the Angry Bear cast.
Yeah, we'll definitely need to work on that. Got to brew some things before then.
Oh yeah.
But so for my favorite beer of all time, that's really hard because I've had a whole.
Yeah, you.
It's rough, man. You got to bring out your notebook, man.
Yeah,
I got my
I know.
notebook at home with
Yeah, I
all
gotta
of my
go-
notes,
Gotta
dude.
go dig up where my notebooks are. I've had a whole bunch of shit. So I'll try to think about it a little bit more.
Is it Miller Fortune?
But no.
Oh, God.
But so there's definitely
That's right,
probably,
Miller.
There's definitely probably something I've had in the past couple of years that probably blows this away. But what has stuck out recently in my mind is Big Bad Baptista.
Yeah.
Big
for
Bad
sure.
Baptista is a memorable beer.
Yeah.
Because I love an imperial stout, and Big Bad
Same.
Baptista took that and kind of added just a small enough twist on it that it was just
Yeah, I just didn't
kinda
understand it. I was like, what is
it added
this?
kind of just a small Mexican twist.
Yeah.
Because it's like Mexican brown sugar, Mexican coffee that they put into the beer. And
good.
it just kind of takes it to a whole nother level.
Latin style cooking includes a lot of spices that complement things that we would generally, I'm just going to say it, as white people, we eat pretty bland food on a regular basis.
yeah.
So they take that and they take it a step further. So whenever you have even like a brown ale or something like that, something that generally wouldn't be considered a super flavorful beer,
Yeah.
and they add that extra in there, god damn, it's that quality over quantity, man.
Yeah. But yeah, so Jeffrey Stankus.
Thanks for that question, man.
Yeah,
I hope
yeah.
that was insightful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope
Hope
that
that
gave
was
you a little bit,
insightful.
about like the type of things that we like to drink.
He gave us a thumbs up right there. So.
Yeah,
Hey.
yeah. So I hope y'all enjoyed our cast. We drank some Mexican lagers. We talked about a few things. It was insightful for I think all of us. I believe.
Yeah.
We have an
It
exciting
definitely
season
was.
coming
We do.
up.
We do have an exciting season. We do have some other things in the works.
Yeah.
don't
We
wanna-
got things planned,
We don't.
you know.
We don't want to talk about it yet, but we've got some cool things coming up.
We'll
so.
enjoy it, and you will enjoy it.
Yeah, so just keep a watch out, keep listening, keep watching, all that good stuff. Check us out on all the normal places: iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, all those good places.
Spotify.
We're posting a lot of our video streams to YouTube, so if you missed a video stream, go check it out there. Go check it out.
And subscribe to us, please.
Subscribe to us.
You can see my ugly ass
You
on
can
there.
see Bobby's face, all that good stuff. Press a button. So thanks for joining us. Join us next time and put your foot in. You're about to
foot in? Yeah,
put your foot in.
Put your foot in.
And be sure to crack a cold one with your boys.
Hey.
Hey,
Happy birthday, Brad.
thank you.
There we go.
Yo, we did it.
Bro, that was a great cast.
That was a good
It's a
one.
good cast, yeah.
I have a couple of notes that I want to bring up, though.
Okay.
I think that we did terribly. No, just so I think that we should start doing ratings.
Ratings?
Ratings on the live stream. Like live updates of the ratings on actual paper of some sort and keeping track of that. That question that Joffrey posted up, or Geoffrey, was, are we still live right now?